You're watching SportsFource Extra on KTIV.
Welcome back, folks. In Nebraska, girls athletes were likely either fighting to get to state on the basketball court or fighting at the state tournament on the wrestling mat. But we'll begin with the folks trying to earn their way to state on the parkade floors around the Cornhusker State. And Macy, the Omaha Nation Chiefs, they've rattled off one of the best seasons in program history. Entering the postseason at 21-2. Odds are the wild card would be in the Chiefs' favor, but why do you want to leave it up to chance if you can just win your way to the state tournament? So, a sub-district semifinal matchup as the Chiefs host Clarkson Lee. We'll pick things up third quarter. Patriots Violet Holitz. This is to Ava Kasich. Kasich gets the layup to fall, but the Chiefs are well in front. And later on, Omaha Nation's Delaney Walker finds Bella Sherman, and Sherman hits from beyond the arc there to continue growing that Omaha Nation lead. And tell you what, Chiefs keep that momentum. Mickle Parker finds Desma Walker for the corner three. Omaha Nation picks up the win 68-28.
We're a good three-point shooting team, and we knew that's kind of what we had to do. And our inside girls played well too, and we knew their team would be tough. They play good defense, they're fast, and we just wanted to not turn the ball over and make our shots that we needed to make.
So, Chiefs get the winner of this matchup in the sub-district title game. Wayne taking on North Bend Central. Top of the game, Tigers' Lauren Sterup drives in for the layup, won't stick it, but look at this. Sterup gets her own rebound, and she'll put it away to take a 2-point lead. Later on, Blue Devils with the ball. Mallory Redden tosses to Addison Frank. Frank from the top of the key. It's good. It's a 1-point lead for Wayne. They'll keep it going, too. Kinley McGuire finds Ellie Pawicki on the inbound. Pawicki drives to the right, goes up, gets it to go off the glass, but ultimately North Bend Central wins this one 36-32. In Bancroft, the Bancroft Rosalie Panthers hosting Hartington Newcastle. Pick things up at the start of the game. Ella Eichhoff dishes the fade to Lippert. Lippert sends it home from deep, but they trail by 3. Later on, Panthers with the ball. Kendra Bodette finds Jalen James. James able to hit from close range, and it's a 7-point lead for the Panthers. Wildcats call back, though. Lippert drives in. Lippert can't get this initial try to fall, but that's all right. Carissa Bruning cleaning the glass there with the board, and she'll get it to go, but it's a 10-point lead for the Panthers, and Bancroft Rosalie ain't letting up. James dishes to Kennedy McKillane, who gets the double to fall. Bancroft Rosalie wins this one 63-32. So the Panthers, they get the winner in this one between Lions Decatur Northeast and Hartington Cedar Catholic. Second quarter, Trojan Savannah Pick tosses to Cameron Locker, who gets the triple to fall. It's a 10-point lead for Cedar Catholic. They'll keep it going here. Locker finds Bryn Berniker. Berniker stops and pops the mid-range J and gets the contested one to fall. Trojans at it again. Autumn Cottle tosses to Pick for the corner three. Cedar Catholic wins this one 60-41. In Omaha, though, a state tournament was already underway. The Nebraska Girls State Wrestling Tournament as Siouxlanders hit the mats in the Big O in an effort to etch their names into the history books. But it wouldn't be a Nebraska State tournament without an appearance from everyone's favorite Nebraskan, Irvin Doman. He brings you the action from day one.
Day one of the NSAA Girls State Wrestling Tournament down in Omaha was a busy one on Tuesday. We had so many Siouxland wrestlers who earned the right to compete at the state tournament, but which ones would earn the right to compete in the semifinals on Wednesday? Let's go find out. The Norfolk Panthers switching for their 4th state title in 2 years. They won it all on the Bears this season and last season, as well as the team title at last year's state wrestling championships. Off to a great start here. Kelly Warner takes a 17-0 tech ball win in the Class A 130-pound bracket in the opening round. However, she does fall in the quarterfinals. Class A 155 pounds. Her Norfolk Panther teammate Riley Bauer, the 2 seed in her bracket, she dominates her opening round match. She gets a near fall right here and earns a 15-0 tech ball. She will wrestle in the semifinals on Wednesday. Class B 130 pounds, Jocelyn Hofer of Neely Oakdale picks up a fall victory to advance to the quarterfinals, but her championship hopes would end in the next round. Class B 130 pounds again, Madeline Pitsulka gets a fall for the West Holt Huskies. Pitsulka also gets a win in the quarterfinals. 3 of the 4 remaining wrestlers in this bracket are from Siouxland. More on that later on. Emerson Penny of Elkhorn Valley almost gives up the escape point, but she will place her opponent square on her back on the mat. She gets the fall victory. She talked about the feeling of winning her opening round match.
Evan, I wrestled this girl 2 times. She's beat me 2 times, and I knew I had to take it to her. Like, this is my shot. I've been to Omaha 2 times before this, and I've come home empty-handed every time, and I'm not about to do that.
Penny did drop her quarterfinal match, but can still medal for the Falcons. Bethany Arns of Crofton Bloomfield picks up a reversal and a near fall in her opening match. She advances in the Class B 145-pound bracket with a decision. Her day, however, would end with a loss in the next round. And in Class B 170, it's Elgin Public Pope John's Libby Evans who locks this one in deep. She earns the slap. She'll advance with a fall victory.
I'm down here doing what I came to do, and I'm able to continue working and growing in my sport. It's just really an honor to be here.
Evans would fall to the 1 seed in the bracket in the quarterfinals. Class B 105, Pierce's Essence Owens Webb takes a win in her quarterfinal match. She gets a fall. She'll compete in the semifinals on Wednesday.
So that's kind of my mindset going into state right now, is cross off everyone's name and says, who cares? It's all about me, no one else. I'm leaving it all out there this year.
Class B 110 pounds, an all Siouxland clash between Madison Nelson of Crofton Bloomfield and Bailey Chessmore of Neely Oakdale. Chessmore earns the right to compete in the semifinals as she picks up a fall victory. For Chessmore, it's another win, but it means more considering the CRPS diagnosis she fights through.
It feels pretty good to get into tomorrow, especially with my freshman and sophomore year not going as planned. And fighting through my CRPS through the whole season has made me feel so much better about myself because I'm pushing through each match.
Class B 130 pounds, O'Neill's Grace Druke is the 2 seed in the bracket. She punches her ticket to the semifinals with a fall victory. Also Class B 130 pounds here. Just on the top half of the bracket now, Stanton's Rylan Hansen is the top seed, and she keeps her title hopes alive with a 5-2 decision win. And in Class B, the Battle Creek Bravettes, they have 51 points after 1 day of competition, and they are all alone in first place.
We had 5 of our 6 make it through that first round, and then those next 5 in the second round all won their matches too. So, you know, to keep the ball rolling is going to be essential here coming into this next day, but I'm very proud of the girls' effort.
Semifinal and championship action will pick up a Wednesday in the afternoon, and of course you can find it right here on KTIV on SportsFource. That's all I've got from Omaha. Irvin Doman, KTIV Sports.